You're listening to the 107th edition of the Bitachon podcast. We continue in psukim, which were collated for us by Reb Zundel. Passuk says in Tehillim, chapter 16, verse 1, mikhtam LeDavid, a crown for King David. Shamreini kel, ki chasisi vach. Protect me, Hashem, for I have placed my hope in you. I place my trust in you. Mikhtam is an interesting word. Mikhtam LeDavid. We said it means a crown for David. Mikhtam lashon atara, says Rashi. It's a language of a crown, kmo ketem. We find elsewhere the word ketem can mean a crown, something that's above. Shemashma davar zeh hayaragil lemer David. That the passuk is saying that David HaMelech was always saying this passuk. He was always saying this idea. Shamreini kel ki chasisi vach. It was his crown. It was his crowning achievement. And it's like a crown which surrounds the person, right? You have a crown, it's placed upon the head, it surrounds the head. Mikol tzad, and perhaps we could say it's seen from each side. We find that what was his will, what was David HaMelech constantly speaking about, the concept of ratzon is also related to the crown, something that's above the mind. A person's will is beyond thought, it's beyond intellect. But what's the ratzon of David HaMelech that crowns him? What's his desire? What is his hope? What is his constant prayer? It's that Hashem should protect him. That's what surrounded him always, this beautiful prayer. Shamreini kel, ki chasisi vach. Protect me, Hashem, because I trusted in you. Avram ben Ramuch says, that which David HaMelech, he doesn't say it as a tefillah, he doesn't say it as a prayer, God protect me. Rather he says it in a language of Shamreini, which means protect me. It's almost a command to Hashem, protect me. This type of protection is something which is absolute, it's guaranteed. It's something that it's an activation. It's like David HaMelech is activating the shmira, the promise of Hashem, the absolute promise of Hashem, which is that he's going to be protected. It's not possible that Hashem will be weak. It's not possible that there'll be a lessening of his strength, of Hashem's ability, because God is a Kel. We refer to him as Kel, Ratzalem Takif. The name of Hashem, which is used here, is Kel, which means he is powerful. There's no such thing as having hopelessness, and there's no such thing as Hashem giving up on us or us giving up on him, and there's no cruelty from Hashem's side. Lefishu Kel, Sheminas Rachamim. The name Kel, besides for denoting God's strength and his power, also denotes his divine mercy. And it means that Hashem has the ability, the power, the great power, the strong power, to have mercy on whoever trusts in him. And there is a merit that we have. There is a merit, King David says. The merit is, Hashem, protect me. It's guaranteed that Hashem will protect me. Why? Because I've trusted in you. And this is a rule, and I heard this from my Rosh Hashiva. This is a spiritual rule. It's a fact. It's part of nature. And when we trust in Hashem, there's a guarantee. It's absolutely certain that Hashem will take care of us. Let's see what the Yavid says. The Yavid says like this: mikhtam LeDavid. This statement that King David says, he says, I trust in you, Hashem. Protect me, Hashem. I trust in you. This statement was made when the crown of King David was placed upon his head, when he became the king. Hear this, it's awesome. Even though I am a king, and I have plenty of guards to protect me, I don't trust in anybody. I only trust in you. All the armies in the world can't protect me unless you protect me. All the bodyguards in the world can't protect me unless you protect me. Because I know so clearly, says David HaMelech, that the compassion that my guards have on me, the protection that they protect me with, it's you. It's your protection. It's your compassion. If you don't protect me, nobody can protect me. You are the power of protection, Hashem. So I recognize that David HaMelech is saying, at that very moment, when they're placing the crown on his head and all the bodyguards are lining up, he says, Hashem, you are my bodyguard. You are the one who takes care of me. Now we have the Bear Avraham. The Bear Avraham says, let's imagine somebody's walking along in the marketplace. And I'm going to translate it a little bit so it's more applicable for today. He sees someone on a motorcycle riding straight at him. He's worried that he'll get run over. He can't get out of the way, the guy's driving so fast. He calls out in a low voice, please. Perhaps it's something that he knows that he can't even scream over the volume, the loudness of the motorcycle. He says quietly, and the guy sees him. Please, don't run me over. Please go off the path. So too Hashem davens to the one who rides, the rider of the heavens, who is his helper. David HaMelech looks up at the sky. He sees the stars and he sees the mazalis. He understands. He was very deep. He was very wise. He could see what's going to happen. He could read the way things are headed. He could see it. But he says to Hashem, please protect me from the way that things are riding, the way things are moving, the way things seem to be going. I don't want to be run over. I trusted in you, and I don't trust in what I see in the stars, the horoscopes, the future, the visions of whoever has visions. I'm not impressed with that. I look to you, Hashem. I know that you are behind everything. You're the power behind everything. I'm not even interested. It's possible, it's possible to use the names of angels in order to create certain effects in the world, to bring about certain results in the world that a person wants. But David HaMelech says, I know all that, but I'm not going to use it. I'm not interested in angels. I just want you to be the one who I trust in. You are my rock. You are my foundation. You are the one who I know everything comes from you. Here there's a note. You see that which the Ramban writes in his, he has a sefer called the Minyan HaMitzvahs, brings down all the different commandments, the 613 commandments. The 8th commandment that the Jewish people were commanded is that we should have a complete heart with Hashem. This is what the verse says. It says, should be whole with Hashem. What does it mean? It means that I should trust in Hashem. I shouldn't trust in anybody else, in anything else, in any other power. I shouldn't try to figure out the future, see what's going to be. Be plain, be simple, be whole with Hashem. Don't try to figure out, looking at the stars, looking at the constellations, looking at the mazalis, what's going to be. Don't look at anything else. There are people who know things. There are people who have psychic abilities, they're able to see the future, they're able to know things. Don't believe it though. Even though they're right. They might have been right in the past, they might be right in the future. Don't believe it. Why? Well, im nishma davar mehem nomer hakol b'yedei shamayim. If we hear something and it sounds like it's something negative, if we hear a certain thing is going to happen, don't believe it. Don't believe it. Why? Because everything is in Hashem's hands. Everything is in the hands of the Creator. Hashem can switch things around. He can move the constellations into the way He wants it to be. It doesn't seem like that. There's a whole order of the way things go. We can figure it out based on science. Forget science. Forget the future. Forget what you think is going to be. Hashem does everything. Hashem can take the magicians, and we're talking about people who can do real magic, like the magicians in India, those who have real koiches hatuma, they use certain powers. Hashem nullifies their power. Hashem takes away their false signs. And their false signs might be true sometimes, but Hashem can make them false. We need to believe, says the Ramban, we need to know that every single thing that we do, every time we try to come close to Hashem, every time we try to perform His mitzvahs, His commandments, every time we try to do His will, every time we try to have Bitachon in Him, it changes the story. It really changes the story. So, in a certain sense, it's in His control, but it's also in our control. We choose our relationship with Hashem. And if we have a relationship with the big boss, with the king, it's going to be all right. Now he brings the Malbim. David HaMelech medaber klape ha'umos, ayudei halilim. King David is speaking, responding to that which the nations of the world say, those who serve idols. They agree, they recognize that God is really the source of all sources. He's behind everything. He's turning the cogs, so to speak. But they think that He has appointed minions underneath Him, that they're the ones who are in charge of all that goes on in this world. He's above, and He lets things go based on what they decide. That's where they have their idols. That's what the idols were. They were called Oidei Kechavim. They served the stars. They bowed down to the sun and the moon. They recognized that there was a God, but they said God is aloof. God is not interested in us directly. He's placed all these intermediaries. Alachayim, alachein, alaoisha v'chadayma. Whether the person is going to live, whether the person is going to have grace in the eyes of others, whether the person is going to be successful, he's going to be rich. There's all these different gods. The Greek gods, think about the Greek gods. So what do the nations of the world do? They turn toward their gods, they turn toward their idols, and they say, this is what's going to provide for me. Today, we have idols as well. It's called money. It's called all of the PR is going to give me the success. If I do everything that the greats do, if I follow their instructions, if I get the right classes and I get the right ideas, so I'm going to be successful. This is what King David is calling out about. And he's saying, you, Hashem, protect me. Take care of me, because I've trusted in you. And he asks Hashem, please, you, Hashem, please, you directly protect me. Take care of me. I'm not trusting in anything else. I'm not trusting in my own self, my own efforts. I'm not trusting in any powers, any spiritual powers, any physical powers, any people. I'm not trusting in my money. I'm just trusting in you. Here he brings the Tefillah l'Moshe. B'mizmor zer, bi'er David HaMelech l'Hashem l'tanug ha'amiti, ha'musog achar ha'maves, mitzad shleimus ha'nefesh ha'maskeles. King David in this psalm is giving us an explanation. He's coming to bring to us, to extol, to explain to us the true enjoyment that a person has after he dies, when he has reached a certain level of perfection, a spiritual perfection. And the enjoyment that a person has when he reaches a certain level of spiritual perfection in this world as well, when he's still alive. All the different types of attainments from beginning to end, which David HaMelech is coming to describe in the book of Psalms. So now he gives us a different explanation. Until now, we've understood that the word mikhtam means a crown of David. Whether it means it's the literal crown and he's asking Hashem for help when he's being crowned, whether it's the crown of the fact that he's constantly asking Hashem and it's always something that surrounds him and he's always using this request. But here is a different explanation. The crown is the soul, right? Of course, as our sages tell us, neshama asher b'moichi, right? The soul, the lower aspects of the neshama are inside of our mind and they stretch up to the highest heavens. So it's like a crown. Asher hu ateres adam. The soul and the intellect are the crown of the human being. And what he's saying is that his soul is calling out to Hashem, calling out to God, and it's saying, Hashem, protect me, for I have trusted in you. It's interesting because he's saying this is a description of what tainug, what spiritual enjoyment looks like. It's the Spirit speaking and saying, Hashem, protect me. Protect me because I want to nestle under your wing. I want to come into your protection, under your shadow. That's the true. Think about it. What an enjoyment it is. When we have Bitachon, we trust in Hashem, and then we see that Hashem took care of us. The thing that we asked for, the thing that we prayed for, the thing that we trusted Him about came true. It's an amazing feeling. Last piece over here is from the Shari Chaim. He says something which we mentioned previously, but it's important to hear it again. A person feels like, look, I don't deserve any reward. Hashem, why should God answer me? I don't really deserve it. I haven't done enough good deeds. I haven't done enough mitzvahs. But I do have something. What is my one merit? If I can say to Hashem, I can turn to Hashem and say, look, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust any people, but I do trust in you. That's not just a merit. That's an incredible merit. Even if I don't have anything else to my name, any other credits to my name, but if I have the merit of the fact that I trust in Hashem, that's enough. Like we find it elsewhere. Passuk says, those who trust in you will not be embarrassed. This is what King David says, Shamreini kel. Protect me, Hashem. I know the truth that I don't really have enough actions. I don't have enough good deeds. I don't deserve your help. King David says, if we can honestly say to Hashem that we trust in Him, our trust is only in you. Like we saw before, He had so many people to trust in, and He says, no, I'm not interested in that. I just trust in you, Hashem. If we can turn honestly to Hashem and say that, we're set. We've got it. Hashem will not turn us away. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you again next time.